James Eugene Ledwith was born to Mr. and Mrs. James' parents in 1936. The Ledwith family is known for their slow aging and excellent father-son relationships.
You know, James was the kind of guy that he would have multiracial friendships. He hung out with the black kid after school.
James Ledwith was the kind of guy, he'd call you up, be like, hey, you want to smoke? He'd come pick you up, he'd smoke you up. And he'd be like, hey, you want something to take home for yourself? I'm not greedy. You want something to bring home? Here, you got a piece? Here's one. That's the kind of guy James was.
I remember James was the guy, he always had a hookup. Like every night, he would always have a number, a new name. No, I could honestly say that one time after baseball practice, I did see James in the shower, and let me tell you, the rumors are true, he does tuck into his socks.
One time, James came to me and he said, you know what? I'm going to quit smoking weed, I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to go to school for criminology. I didn't talk to him for 8 months. When I see him, he's like, I graduated from school of criminology. I was like, no way, in 8 months? He's like, yeah. And I was like, that doesn't seem logical.
Yeah, I mentioned his cock was huge, right?
Man, James was fucking knee deep in pussy. And his dick actually did have a knee. So, he was literally knee deep in pussy.
No, there's this one time back in 2000, James was like, man, you gotta check out this guy that I just found about in Google. He's a city planner from Illinois. I was like, who the fuck is that? He's like, yo, Barack Obama, motherfucker. And he's like, you gotta check this guy out, man. He's gonna be the next president. And I was like, fuck, man, he's just a city planner. What the fuck is this guy gonna do?
I remember one day James was like, man, I heard this awesome new song. And back then I wasn't really into music that much. I kind of, I just didn't like it. And he's like, check this out. And it was All Star by Smash Mouth. And it was the first time I heard it. I hadn't seen the movie Mystery Men. I was fucking blown away.
James actually told us the story of 9/11 before 9/11. But we didn't believe him until that fateful night.
James has the most willpower of anyone I've ever met in my entire life. He somehow acquired a time machine. And he didn't use it for good, he didn't use it for evil. He just let it sit there because he knew from movies like Terminator and Back to the Future, the first one, the second one, he didn't really like that one, but he knew from those movies that you could fuck up the past, no matter if you're trying to do good or bad. And I think he put a skateboard on there. He was an excellent skateboarder. He could alley-oop like the best of them.
I remember that I would always get video games like the night that they came out, so there's no way that anybody else would have played them before. But then the next day, I would play with James, and I knew he didn't have it because he didn't have the same system as me. And he would be better at the game than I was. Did I mention he has a giant penis? Remember one night he spent the night and he was wearing these shorts that were like a little too short? And I got like a glimpse of what I didn't know what the hell it was, but it turned out to be pubic hair. And I had no idea what it was, but James had it, and he was fucking younger than me. That was a sad night. James has pretty much slept with everyone in my family. Like when he beat Zelda, he did it over again to make sure he got all the shit. And it turned out he did. He didn't even have to do it twice. James always knew the new fashion. I mean, we were just catching up to like blue jeans and white shirts, and he was like using like cargo pants. He had those one pants that would like zip and then would become shorts way before anyone else did. Man, I remember like it was one day I saw him, I was like, sweet pants, James. Like later in the day, I was like, I thought you were wearing pants. You're wearing shorts now. He was like, yeah, man, they zip. Yeah, man. James not only had the first, but invented the first pogs. The slammer comes from his ultimate move of pogging when he slams it down and he takes all the rest of the pogs that he gave you. One time we went down to the railroad tracks because James loved to play with danger, and we were pogging on like the tracks, and it was
I was like, get out of the way of that train, James.
And I was like, James, hold on, man, this train's coming. And he's like, no, man, I'm gonna slam you first. And boom, he slammed me, and like, boom, the train went by. I looked, and James was in between the tracks on the wrong side. He was literally underneath the train. And James was like, yeah, man, all the pogs are mine because they're heads up. So James was...
James couldn't catch STDs. He would have sex with women he knew had AIDS, and he would not contract the virus.
Somebody's rap. Na na na